Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to talk today about another feud that existed during the apartheid era, and it was a feud between the African National Congress and the Inkatha Freedom Party, okay? If most people look at a history book, they will look at Inkatha Freedom Party members going in and targeting African National Congress members and sometimes killing them, and that's only part of the story. Let me explain. Now, while that did go on, it wasn't Inkatha Freedom Party's policy to do that. The leader of the Inkatha Freedom Party, a guy by the name of Buthelezi, he advocated peace and nonviolence. The only thing he said, and this was on record, and it is that there's an unalienable right for the Inkatha Freedom Party members to defend themselves. Okay? And there was an overreaction among some members of the Inkatha Freedom Party, but here is what happened to get them to retaliate, okay? And this is not a stab at Mandela. Buthelezi advocated for Mandela's release from prison, and Mandela thanked Buthelezi and the Inkatha Freedom Party for his release, that they were one of the contributors to it, and Mandela wanted to meet with Buthelezi as soon as he got released, but the meetings, for some reason, never took place, and that's because there was a lot of hatred and tension and ill will towards the Inkatha Freedom Party amongst other members of the African National Congress. You could even say a majority of members of the African National Congress at the time. Okay? The African National Congress's slogan was liberation first, education later. And then the Inkatha Freedom Party's slogan was education, then liberation. Some elements I agree with the ANC on this. Some elements I agree with the IFP on, or the Inkatha Freedom Party. Okay? But now Buthelezi agreed that apartheid should be ended and that all races in South Africa should be treated equally. And he agreed to meet with the African National Congress in London. But once the African National Congress found out that Buthelezi agreed with the mission of the African National Congress, he agreed with their end objective, but he didn't agree with the way they carried out the mission. When that happened, the Inkatha Freedom Party was soon seen as a rival and not as a partner in the struggle for liberation. At one point, the Inkatha Freedom Party had 300,000 members. And at one point, you could argue that Buthelezi was more of a popular black leader than Nelson Mandela. But what happened was the African National Congress started killing Inkatha Freedom Party members on bus stops, doing drive-by shootings, basically. That happened. Then they would go into Inkatha Freedom Party villages in the KwaZulu-Natal province, and they would go sometimes necklace Inkatha Freedom Party members, which means put a tire around them and soak the tire and the person in petrol and burn the person alive. And most necklacing victims did not survive because the burns were too great. And if you see the documentary Tainted Heroes, the documentary Tainted Heroes discusses this. They also a reporter interviews a woman. The reporter calls an ambulance because the woman needs immediate medical attention, but the reporter's not a doctor. So he interviews the woman as best as he can. And the woman's name is Janet, and basically the ANC Youth League came to her village, and it was about 50 of them. And 50 members beat this woman to death, almost nearly to death. She was alive, but she came close to dying, and she was not a member of the Inkatha Freedom Party. Her brother was a member of the Inkatha Freedom Party. That's the kind of stuff that went on that is not told in history books. Like the Shell House Massacre, I do not believe that was ordered by Nelson Mandela, but there were some of his lieutenants that did order the Shell House Massacre when the Inkatha Freedom Party peacefully demonstrated outside of an ANC building. Just a sick, sadistic situation. So this part of South African history needs to be corrected, and it needs to be told in its entirety. So anyways, hope everybody's doing well. Take care. God bless, and bye-bye. Bye-bye.